Fight Live returns to Channel 5 this Friday. Two of Britain's most exciting super lightweights collide at London's legendary York Hall. Don't miss Eubank vs Farrell this Friday on Channel 5.
I'm going to share something with you that might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.
Razvan, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. We're here, Fight Day, Boxer, Sky Sports, Azim Charlton. We were also supposed to see Chelly and Lerrone Richards with me, trainer of Lerrone Richards, Dave Coldwell. Dave, firstly, how are you doing?
I've been better. Obviously, you expect, I'm just gutted for Lerrone. He's had a shit year. Gets his big chance on Sky, and it's just come downhill. I've made some decisions in boxing, and he wants to fight. He feels he can fight, but I can't let him box. He's I don't know what to say. I've come because obviously you've got fronted. He's made the weight. Everything's fine. He was 12 stone 3. It was fine. It's nothing to do with the weight. But he's gone home and he's not gone home. We're in the hotel. He's in the hotel with his mum and dad, just chilling all day. Normally, he said to me today, he's thinking about it. He says, normally I'm walking around. I go for walks. I just want to. He said, it's just something we're off. And then in the evening, he's felt sick. And around 6:30, I've had a phone call off his nutritionist who was with him at that time, and saying, "Dave, you need to come back to Lerrone's room as quick as possible." I was like, right. So I've just gone there, and Lerrone's just laid on the bed. But he's all right, and Lerrone's like, I'm fine. He's not, and he's told me Lerrone's been sick. Sometimes fighters are sick. They eat food, whatever, day before a fight, after a weigh-in or whatever, they're sick. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but he's been sick, and then he's gone to. He's felt a bit dizzy or a bit queasy, so he's just sat on the toilet. And so he sat on the toilet, put the lid down, sat on the toilet just to give himself a minute. But that's all he remembers, because then Lee said to me, "This is what's actually happened, is that he's heard a thump, shouted out to see if Lerrone's all right. No response, so he's gone to the bathroom, and as he's gone to the bathroom, Lerrone's just slumped there with his hands between his legs with his head on the sink like that. He's gone to say Lerrone, and as he's just opened his eyes, has come round straight away. So I don't know how long he's out for. 30 seconds, less than a minute. I don't know how long he's out for. Whatever length of time it's taken for Lerrone to get out, for Lee to get off the chair and come through. And you can't let anybody box like that. He's passed out, whether it's from vomiting, whether it's... I don't know. I'm a doctor. He's going to go for an MRI scan because he's bumped his head. He's got a little lump underneath his behind his ear. So he's bumped his head. And even if he's not bumped his head, the fact he's blacked out, if it's for 5 seconds, 4 seconds, he wants to box. I can't let him box. I can't. It doesn't matter that he's not boxed here. It doesn't matter that he's prepared for his fight. It doesn't matter that he's from London and he's living up in Rotherham, so he can train with me, and whatever costs that incurs for his rent and everything like that, and nutrition and S&C and everything like that, all the costs for a full year and not having a day. That doesn't matter. I can't live with myself if I let Lerrone get in that ring, and if anything happens, that can't happen. I can't. And I know. He said to me he feels all right. Straight away, I feel all right. I could box, but that's my decision. And box. Listen, mate. When boxers are fit, healthy, feel 100%, this is a dangerous sport. It's a dangerous sport, and anything can. We've seen bad things happen, and so you can't go in there knowing that your man's blacked out like 24 hours earlier or whatever it is, and then let him go in there and box and take shots to the head. I don't care how good his defence is. It's not even about Zach Chelli. Please don't think this is about Zach Chelli. You know, they're all, oh, he's scared, is it? Mate, come on. If this was against a journeyman, a guy from Eastern Europe, a guy from Nicaragua, lost 100 fights or whatever, and it was just a marking time comeback fight, whatever, we'll pull him out anyway. Because it's not just about them, what they're going to do to him. It's how is he reacting? Why has he passed out? You know, he's going to have an MRI scan tomorrow. He's going to go and see his doctor tomorrow. He needs to, before he comes back into my gym, I need to know that he's all right, that it was a bug, that it was a bit of food, it was whatever. You know, I was talking to Kevin Marie last night when I was explaining, because they were trying to get one of Kevin's fighters to step in to fight Zach Chelli, you know, trying to get an opponent. And when I was explaining to Kevin what happened, he said that the night before, one of his fighters on another show had to pull out for the same reason. 1 minute fine, all of a sudden dropped ill. So I don't know if it's a bug that's going around. I don't know, but regardless, I'm not a doctor. That's not my forte. My job is to look after my fighter. And if he's not well, if he's blacking out, I don't care if it's 5 seconds. Like I said, I don't care if it's 5 seconds, a minute, 10 minutes. I don't care. He can't box, and I understand the shit that comes with that. I understand that when before the fight, Zach Chelli and his dad are saying he's scared, all that shit. I understand that. And that's part of why Lerrone's like, Dave, I can fight. I'm glad as well, because I went back to see him at midnight after I'd left the boxer team. I said, how are you feeling? He says, my neck's starting to feel a little bit sore. Today he's got a stiff neck. Last night he's just got a little bit of soreness there where he's banged his head. That's the only reason why we know he's banged his head, because he can't remember that. But he's got a little lump there and it's sore. He's sore around there at the top of his ear. So that tells me he's banged his head. But even if he's not banged his head, and if he's just black, the fact that if he's blacked out without banging his head, I can't let him get in that ring. Bumping your head and blacking out, fucking hell, no chance. Can you imagine if I let him go in the ring and something happened? Mate, that's scandalous, and that's not happening. And I won't allow that to happen. I don't care how much a fighter wants to fight. I don't care how much people want to say we're scared, we're pulled out, we've bottled it, all that sort of shit. Let that happen. I would rather let that happen. I don't care. That's not a problem. Bottom line is, my fighter's safe. He's all right. You know, people. You don't understand what his year's been like. It's been horrendous, and he's put everything into the sport. And you know, Sky were going with the big build up and everything, and the intros and everything were going to be brilliant. I've seen what Sky were putting together. It was his chance. It's on a Sunday. Viewing figures are going to be great. This is something that he was really looking forward to. He can't wait. You know, and I've had to take that. I feel this personally, because I've had to take that decision away from him, even though he wanted to fight. But he's smart and he respects my decision. He's smart. He understands, and it's like he's very, very. He's an intelligent kid, and he always look like things happen. This okay, we move on, we change, we adapt. So it's all right in that respect. But I know the shit that he's going to get and that his name's going to get, and that's what's quite upsetting, and that's what pisses me off, because people don't understand what goes off behind the scenes, what fighters really go through. And Zach as well. I spoke to Zach and his dad in the hotel, and I sat down with him and I explained to him, listen, I understand that you're going to be pissed off. I understand that you're going to say that we're scared. I get that. I understand that's a human response, because Zach's put everything into this camp as well. This is his breakout. This is what he sees as his big opportunity, you know. But ultimately, you've got to think about the safety of fighters. You know, and please let's not get this twisted. Lerrone Richards' next fight, he wants to be Zach Chelli. He doesn't want to fight anybody else, right? This you got to remember. This was a case of where Lerrone was going to have a fight back, waiting for a date to fight a circuit fighter, somebody that nobody's heard of, and then we get Zach Chelli. Oh, everybody knows that's an exciting fight, so we'll take that instead. So it's not. And when you're saying that he's scared of him and shit like that, mate, look at who Lerrone's fought in his career in 16 fights. Just look at that. And anyone that thinks that he's scared of fighting Zach Chelli, you're a fucking idiot. Because there's no way you can in the amount of fights that he's had, and you fight, Lennox Clark, big puncher. DeCarolis experience. Look at what DeCarolis has done since Lerrone beat DeCarolis for European. Gongora walking through everybody and smashing Akhmedov, and then he fights him. So come on, if he's not scared to fight them, then why would he be scared to fight Zach Chelli? And that's no disrespect to Zach. Zach's a very, very good prospect, punches hard, but it's not what we haven't seen before, and it's not what he hasn't experienced before. I understand when you're a fighter that's never fought anybody, and then you fight your first big puncher, and then people can say, oh, he's going to be scared, or he's going to feel that. It's nothing new to him. It doesn't bother him. It doesn't faze him. And Lerrone's a 30-year-old grown man, and he's boxed at that level. So it's not disrespecting Zach. It's just speaking facts. There is no being scared of him. It's we haven't bottled it. We haven't pulled out because we're scared of him. I've pulled him out because he's not well, and I'm not willing to risk my fire.
Dave, I know you summarised quite in detail there, but the fact that you said he woke up today with a stiff neck, does Lerrone appreciate now the reasons that he cannot fight today? Yeah,
it does appreciate it, but it's still, he's a fighter, and fighters out there all understand, and Zach could be the same. The fighter will want to fight. He's like, my hands are good, my legs are good, I feel all right. But even if he didn't have a stiff neck today, I don't care. The fact is that he, for whatever reason, he was ill yesterday. It can be food. It could have been a bit of, I don't know what it is. But whatever the reason, however minute it is, and please God, it's a minute reason, but for whatever reason it is, he wasn't well yesterday. And it's like, remember I had Jordan Gill, right? Boxing Tinoco. Jordan didn't tell me that it had illness and shit like night before on the day of the fight, right? He didn't tell me that. He went in and fought, and every time he got touched, it was dropping with body shots. And then after, he's telling me in the ring, just like, I don't feel great. What fucking good is that? Because then nobody cares about you being ill, and it took 2 years for him to get back to where he was. Lerrone's 30 years old. Lerrone's been out literally all year, can't get a fight. He's an unbeaten fighter. He had a title. He's a name coming off of big wins. Still can't get a fight, and nobody wants to fight him. So if he goes in, if I let him get in there, and because he's ill, he gets beat. Well, I've just done the same thing as what happened with Jordan. Things happen. You experience things in life. And people talk about experience. Well, part of your experience is bad shit happening, and you acknowledge that and you learn from that. Now I knew about this one. I got told Lerrone's ill, so I can't then just ignore that and go, do you know what? No, it's only Zach Chelli. No, we're still. Lerrone's like, Dave, I'm fine. I'll be all right. Yeah, it's only Zach Chelli. No, we'll be all right. We'll be all right. What? That means you're dumb as fuck because you've not learned from what happened in the past. So no, I don't care whether if it was just him vomiting and being sick, I'd have pulled him out because he's obviously there's some sort of reason why he's not well.
Dave, you've been in the industry for a long time, you've got a lot of experience, and is that key for fighters? Because we saw a number of weeks ago where we had Chris Eubank Jr., different circumstances, but everyone was saying that someone should have put their hand around his shoulder and pulled him out of the fight because it wasn't safe for him to go into that fight. You've done that for Lerrone, which everyone I've spoken to today is the right decision because he blacked out. But is that important? Do people need to have responsibility and experience?
It's not for me to comment on what other people have done and things like that. All I can do is make. All we all can do Listen, being a coach trainer is fucking hard because you spend day in day out with these fighters. You're doing everything with them, and you understand what they're going through. And then the fight comes, you know how much it means to them. Then Lerrone's not earned a bean from boxing all year. December 18th is the last time he earned anything from boxing, right? We all know that cost of living and everything's going up. He's still having to live. He's got a son that he's got to earn money for. Do you know what I mean? So it's not like these decisions are made lightly, but I'm afraid when it comes to something like this, the decision should be made like that. And regardless, and I understand the pressure. Listen, it's the pressure. You're boxing on Sky, and you're basically screwing up a Sky show. That's a lot of pressure. Do you know what I mean? And but that's where the fighter's always going to say, "Oh, I need to fight." And that's where somebody needs to turn around and kind of say, I don't give a fuck. This is your health, because let Zach Chelly and his dad slag us off. Let fans that want to side with that idea say that we're scared and say that it's scared. Let that happen for the next couple of months, however long it is. But the fight will happen. And when the fight happens, all that talk and everything, it'll be the same result. Lerrone wins, we move on, and that talk then is gone. But I understand that until that fight happens, people are going to say what they want to say, and I get that. And I said that to Zach and his dad. I said, I understand you're going to say what you want to say, because that's how you are, that's how you feel. I get that. I understand their point of view, and that's the thing. You've got to be able to see all point of view, but you've also got to be a little bit sensible and say, look at who Lerrone's for. Is he really, really scared? If he'd have been scared of anybody, he'd been scared of Gongora. But he weren't.
Dave, I appreciate you summarising the events from today.
Do you know what it is? It's hard because I'm trying. I don't feel like I've done a good job of it, because I can't just be black and white. I'm not reading it from a statement, because I'm speaking in it. I'm feeling that emotion of Lerrone and knows what we've been going through for the last few hours. And you know, you've got his mum and dad in the hotel room, and now, and they're with him, and you can see these people, what they know, what the son's putting himself through. So it's not just black and white. It's not just business. You know what I mean? So I don't feel as though I've spoke really well. But I hope you understand. That's all I want you to do, is just understand. And you make your own decision. Like I said, there'll be some that'll say, bullshit, he's bottled it, this. If you really think that a professional fighter bottles it, then you don't really know many professional fighters, because I don't know, not just my fighters, all these fighters out there, fighters aren't really scared, because otherwise they won't be doing it in the first place. They're a different breed. You know, they're not scared. They're just, shit happens, and that's what happens.
Dave, our thoughts are with Lerrone. Hopefully, MRI scans are clear. The most important thing.
MRI Monday, which is tomorrow, and his doctor's tomorrow. He won't be in my gym until we get the results back, and then we can get going and then work towards a new date. We're just waiting on boxers to be able to get us a date for the rearranged fight. Richards against Chele, it'll happen.
And yeah, well done on making a responsible decision. Dave Coldwell, IFL TV, thank you very much.
Fight Live returns to Channel 5 this Friday. Two of Britain's most exciting super lightweights collide at London's legendary York Hall. Don't miss Eubank vs Farrell this Friday on Channel 5.
I'm going to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See, if someone grabbed up my wife and saying completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.